get married, I count you most privileged. As our children grow up, our roles and styles of parenting in their life will change. And that's one thing we need to know. As they grow up, you won't always be the commander-in-chief. When the children are young, what you do is total parenting. The child does not want to eat vegetables, but you insist. But by the time that child is about 20 and say, eat it, say, I don't feel like eating it. Do you want to beat the child? It's already too late. So that is, we must know that our roles as women, as mothers, and I want us to, I'm just trying to lay the background, the foundation. Our roles as career women, we are trying to build a career, but at the same time, we are trying to build our children. There is a way the Yoruba adage says it. Our children cannot inherit our career. None of my children is a microbiologist. I'm lucky that I have one that eventually came up as a medical, it's one of the people to be inducted. Wow. But I wished all my books, all my library, none of my children. What I have, there's something inside that we have to give to our children that is much more than our career or our certificates. And we must make sure that we do not lose it. Especially, we do it at the right time. Permit me to draw, because I'm a pastor, permit me to draw some inspirations from the Word of God. Moses, it was when he was young. The mother had the privilege of receiving him back. And just for the years before he was weaned, was when he was with the mother. Moses was raised as the son of Pharaoh's daughter. But only God knows what that woman did to that young man Moses. The Bible says when he became of age, he refused to be called Pharaoh's daughter. Why? Do you know the prestige? Do you know the fame of being raised in a palace? And he turned his back on that, only to identify with slaves. What did that mother, within those 3 years that she was being paid to raise her own child, what did she do? And that is why I want us to know that catch them young. Catch them young. That's the best time. Today we have generations. Everybody here has been put in one generation. Generation X, generation this, generation Y. And I want us to know that in Proverbs 29:15 says, a child left to himself brings his mother. I wonder why he didn't say the father. Brings the mother to shame. Our children will not bring us shame. In the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. What is the digital age? Because we are talking about nurturing our children as career women in the digital age. I also want to paint the picture of the digital age. After which I'm not going to talk about what are some parenting tips that we need. Because unfortunately, it is our children that are educating us about technology. And that is where the fault is. When you talk about technology, for some of us, it is a no-go area. But if you are raising a child in this age, you don't have an option. Because it is their age. It is a digital age. To even write some exams, they need to use some technology. You know that we now do CBE now in the university system, and you have to use the computer. You must sign in. You must do so many things. So my campaign in this talk is not that, oh, don't allow them to go near it. No, that's not. It will be a wrong mindset. Because even if it is better you begin to teach them yourself than allow them to learn it somewhere else. Now, the digital age is defined as the period starting from around 1970 when personal computers were introduced and subsequent technologies and ability to share information freely and rapidly. And the digital age has some characteristics. The widespread use of technology, which we are all aware of, social media, online games. I have a granddaughter of about 4 years. And when she sees me, one of the things she will say is, "Grandma, your phone. What's the password?" She will ask me the password. The moment I tell her the password, she knows how to go to YouTube and go and begin to watch Baby Shark and all these things. It is their age. And that is why we need to know what to do. So there is widespread use of technologies, social media, online, multimedia, and games, and all what have you, in all walks of life. In the digital age, there are so many digital technologies. We have electronic tools, we have systems, we have devices that can generate, that can store or process data. Not only that, there are digital devices that are mobile. We can go with them everywhere. And our children are also exposed to some of these things. Some of the characteristics of this digital age is globalization. You can connect with people all over the world within the twinkling of an eye. There is a massive amount of data. Massive. There is nothing under the sun that you want to know about. Just get a phone. The phone is no longer to make calls. There is so much to do on our mobile phones. So there's explosion of data. There are so many messaging apps, social media apps, and there are so many innovations. You know that there's e-commerce now. You don't need to open a shop before you sell. So these are, and very soon, robotics are going to take over. Artificial intelligence, and so many other things. I have here the picture of the globalization, the characteristics of the global age that we are in. You can see so many things available. And that is what our children have to battle with. So they are not only exposed to what you have to give, they are also exposed to some other things apart from us as their parents. Even what you don't know, they know. And you can see there's ubiquitous information, there's social media, even educational revolution. There are so many books. I'm a lover of books, and in this my tablet, I have over 1,000 books. So you can see so you don't have to carry books when you are traveling. You just open your app and you're reading. That you can download anything. And that is what we are battling with. Even those of us that are matured as adults, not to talk of children. I'm still going to talk about some of the digital risks, that are there. And there is no doubt about it that we are already in a digital world. And Interestingly, our children accept digital technology with enthusiasm. They are eager, they are hungry for it. They are interested, there's a lot of excitement. And the main challenge of parenting in this digital age is to separate children from their digital devices. They are on holidays now for Christmas. Most mothers, to keep them busy, you just hand over a phone. The outdoor activities, I think there was a day I was coming and one of my students, I'm here with some of my wonderful people, and they were reciting one old rhyme that we learned, and I was following them. I was saying it along with them. I said, the children of today, they don't know it. They don't know it. And there are so many lessons in such things. Yeah. So the way they spend their own free time is different from the way we did. The way they socialize, the way they learn new experiences. There is absolutely nothing you want to learn under the sun. Just go online. You want to cook a dish? Just go online. You want to do one thing or the other? Just go online. At times I tell my students, even if you cannot do the practicals, go on. You will see everything. So that is the age that we are in. And you can see there is, okay, I'm not yet there, I'm on slide 10. Yes. You can see the state of today's children. No books, they are all having, it's even still, well, we are still developing when it comes to Africa. In developed countries of the world, I mean, they have tablets, all of them, phones. And we are in a digital world. Now, the digital technology has changed our world. I want to tell you that the world we are in has changed. And I normally tell people anytime I have to sensitize them. The world we are in now has changed from what it used to be 10 years, even 10 years ago. And it is children changing childhood. And that's the concern. Youth, that is those between the ages of 15 and 24, are the most connected group. Worldwide, 75% are online, compared to 48% of the total population. In mid-2018, 55% of the world's population and 85% of Europe's population had internet access. 1/3 of all internet users are younger than 18. Facebook, one of the best-known social networking sites, has about 2.5 billion active users, including children under the age of 13, which is prescribed as the minimum age limit. Google, the best-known web search engine, records over 5 billion searches in the course of just 1 day. YouTube, one of the most popular video sharing platforms, records about 6 billion views a day. Children and adolescents under 18. And that's why, my focus is when your child is still young. Account for 1 in 3 internet users. 1 out of every 3 internet users is under the age of 18. And there is evidence that children are even accessing the internet at increasingly younger ages. I told you of my granddaughter, that she knows where to go to. Just give her the phone. And most of our children, they know where to go to get what they want. In some countries, children under 15 are also likely to use the internet as adults over 25. And of course, smartphones are all over. There are so many digital devices and products that are even available for children. We have pens that lets them know when they have misspelled a word. They have robots that help them develop vocabulary. Internet of things, internet of toys, where the toys are connected to internet and there is a voice, speaking. And some of us, we think, oh, I'm buying a toy. innocently, because we don't know, we are not aware, we ourselves are not literate digitally. We are the ones that even we give them the phones without any training. There was a lady that used to live with me. She has graduated and she's a single mother. And about a few days ago, a number called me and said, "Oh, she mentioned her daughter's name. That is her line." I was not wondering. After about a day, she called me. She said, "Mommy, I just want to greet you." Do you know she can be greeting people like that? And they will call her and say, "Come and meet me. I want to give your mommy something." Now, she has handed a phone to her daughter without any education. So there are so many things I need to rush because of my time so that I can get to where we are really going. There are opportunities. Now, the fact that I've said all this does not mean that we should run away from it. In fact, we cannot run away from it. There are so many opportunities that digital technology provides children with learning, both in formal and non-formal context, competencies. They can learn. If you want your child to learn anything, just go online. Free access to use of high-quality educational resources, programs on various platforms. Virtual visits to museums. You know, you don't need to carry them if you want them to go anywhere, virtually. And you know, I think COVID-19 also opened up the world of digital technology. So we can pay virtual visits to museums. They can find interesting and useful information. There are smart devices and smart toys. They can create content in digital formats and share with others. They can work on themselves. They can develop their talents or their artistic expression. They can communicate with peers and adults who are far away from them. I'm sure we all know some of these things. But what are some of the challenges? Despite the fact that children make up about 1/4 of the total number of internet users, the focus of current international and national digital policies is not on children, but on adults. And that's why we have to come in. Caregivers, parents, educators have to come in. The use of digital technology and the internet, especially when it comes to children, brings along a number of risks. Number one, personal data storage, endangered privacy, abuse of children for commercial purposes, exposure to harmful content, pornography. Some years ago, I had some guys staying in my home, and my mom is 87, was also staying with me there. And anytime she wants to load, her card and buy data, she will need to call one of those guys to do it for her. And do you know what they did? They will load her data, put on her hotspots, then I had one iPhone iPhone 5. So I felt, iPhone, if you don't update, so I just abandoned the iPhone. I don't know how they searched my house, got the iPhone. So when they helped grandma to load her data, they put on her hotspot. She's not aware of any hotspot anyway. And they will be using it. One day she said, they loaded his data yesterday. I didn't do anything with it. And when she talks like that, I said, Grandma, maybe you opened up. I had to listen to her one day when she said it again. I said, bring your phone. I went, I saw that a hotspot is on. No, I didn't, and somehow, I saw where they were charging the iPhone. Because I have a solar inverter. So they went and plugged the iPhone to the inverter. And that was how I saw the phone in the first place. And that was how I had to take it. And I saw that, okay, I now connected 2 and 2. And you know, there's a way they don't know. They are just learning to use internet. I know how to go and check history. So when I check the history, pornography. When I took the phone, the people staying in my house, I saw them took pictures of themselves naked. Sent it to, you can't imagine somebody sending an erected penis to whoever. The lady also did her own. I want to tell you, mothers, we must not be consumed with our careers. I'm still going to talk about life-work balance. We must not be too much consumed with our career that we neglect these children and say, take the phone. Let me have peace. And as long as they are working with the phone, you are free to do whatever. I tell them I use. Using an old woman's data. In the prayer, say, I want to help you. Put on the hotspot. And when you go to such sites, you can imagine, throughout the night, they are just watching evil things. And that's the age we are in. And that is what our children are battling with. We all know that even as adults, you are working on the online, advertisements come. Right? And before you know it, they are carried away. They click on it. The children we have handed over our phones to, that we have not educated. So they have endangered privacy. Exposure to harmful content are just a few of some of the challenges. Children enter the digital world without proper digital skills. I'm going to still talk about some of those skills, which makes them more susceptible to potential risk. Their digital skills are insufficiently developed because most of the time they are recipients and not creators. And in order to adequately intervene in the child's use of digital technology and maximize the benefit for the child, adults, parents, guardians, teachers, educators are expected to have competent digital literacy skills. These are the days that the things we teach our children is not only how to cook, how to sweep. We must teach them how to use, digital technologies. And it is easier when they are still young. You have conversations with them the way you have conversations with them on other things. Like early this morning, I went out with my daughter, and I said, you are waiting for introduction. What are your plans? What are you going to be doing? And we were exchanging ideas. Are you going to be using the internet? Because I know they're always on the phone. I said there are sites you can join so that you can begin to look at, your medical practice. She said I already belong to a group on Instagram. They will tell me some situations, and I will give the answers. And when I go and check the answers, I'll see that I've done the diagnosis already. I said that's the way to go. So you are not just on social media, and you are going from one site to another. In my department, one of the, and 100 level, who has not yet matriculated? That is a class government. Was collecting money for manuals, all these, and they just called me and said, come and listen to what has happened. I said, what happened? They said, he lost the money. I said, where did you keep your bag? Why are you keeping your bag carelessly? How come you lost the money? Where did you keep it? They laughed at me. I said, ask him how he lost it. Bet Naija. These are things that come up, even you as adults. You are doing your bits. And before you know it, something is enticing. And I said, this money, you can, somebody else's money. Up to about 750,000. And we have to drag him, drag the mother, have to pay that money. 100. And the mother said, my son is innocent. He doesn't. I said, okay, how did he enter Bet Niger? Is it not all these advertisements that come up? And if you are not careful, some of our children you have handed phones to, they will put us in trouble. I'm not saying we should not give them, but what education, what information have you provided to that child about online activities before you allow that child to begin to handle it? So, adults are expected to have competent digital literary skills. Unfortunately, in the European, don't let us talk about Africa, 45% of adult European citizens do not have appropriate digital skills. So what happens in Africa? These children can be addicted to the internet. They can be exposed to harmful and inappropriate content, digital violence. Commercial content can lure them. Those are the examples I gave. Exposure to incorrect and unreliable information. There are so many false news. Something that happened 10 years ago, they will bring it as if it is happening now. And causing panic. Access to services and platforms before the prescribed age. These are some of the things that our children. Apart from that, contact with malicious people that will abuse the child. You can imagine a mother that has gone out, a single mother that has gone out from morning and said, this one I can easily communicate with my child, have a phone, so I can call and check. And that child is calling everywhere. And very soon, some people may know that, and say, hey, your mom has sent me to you. And these are some of the risks. Sharing personal information, sharing, about our children. Parents also do it. Sharing photos and so many things. And let me jump to the next thing, effective nurturing. So the first thing I'm trying to establish is that the digital world is real. And you cannot stop your child from digital technologies. There are so many opportunities that are there. One of the best things parents, especially career women, can do in this digital age is to help their child earn digital citizenship. And it must start with us. It is worse with women who are not career women. We have some form of exposure to the internet and technologies. We do some of our activities online. Or can you imagine a woman that is out there? So even those of us that are career women, that are supposed to be knowledgeable, if we don't know what we should know, we will not be able to nurture our child the way we should nurture that child. And that is what I'm trying to say. So we need to educate our children on how to use digital technology safely and effectively. And we need to switch from traditional parenting to digital parenting. I don't have much time left. Let me talk about this. Digital parenting. Digital parenting is where we supervise our child's online activities. And there are styles of parenting. The authoritative parents, the authoritarian parents, the permissive parents. We have that, and we have, the uninvolved. These are parenting styles that we use unknowingly. And I want to say that in switching to digital parenting, we must aim to be authoritative parents, not authoritarian. I don't have time to explain all of it. Authoritative parents make high demands of their children, but they are very responsive and nurturing. Parents, in digital parenting, you will have high expectations and explain as best as you can about online safety and screen limits. Screen limits. And you may allow your child to surf the internet, but there will be, I use technology, but there will be a lot of feedbacks. And some of the feedbacks, I want to jump, if you are following me, jump to slide 224. Positive digital parenting. You are balancing mentoring, empowerment, and guide. You are using your parenting skill to acquit yourself, adapt, and arise to the scenario. There must be nurturing care. There must be structure and guidance. There must be recognition, empowerment, and a non-violent upbringing. I'm still going to talk about digital skills that we must have as parents. And part of it is communication. The first speaker talked a lot about communication the other time. You know, communication is sending and receiving coded signals. Now, in communication, we use one of the ways in which you want to learn about communication, the questioning approach. So, who did you talk to online? The who, what, when, where questions. We don't just leave our children and assume they have gone online, either you like it or not. If you think they don't know how they will buy data, they know how they will buy data. So you need to, in a day, especially when your child is still young, you need to ask questions. Communication skill is a must. So who did you chat with today? And you know, we are the first teachers of our children. Don't let the teacher is going to be the first teacher. Be the first teacher. Who did you talk to online today? Or what did you do online? So where are you going online? When are you going online? Communication skills. And the goal is that you want your child to open up. And there are open-ended questions that you need to be asking our children, particularly when they have a mobile device. Don't just be too busy, and that's why I'm going to also talk about work-life balance. Work-life balance as career women, in that you must set a boundary between time for work and time at home. The time at home is a time to connect, is a time to engage in family activities if possible, is a time, and you don't need to set aside a special time. The time you are doing dishes, you can talk. The time you are commuting, let it just flow. But we need good communication skills if we must nurture our children and protect them from the threats that are there. You must be able to ask them a lot of questions. How was your online activity today? And so on and so forth. So, digital parenting. I said driving to school, washing dishes, cooking dinner, any activity that brings you and your child, it must be engage them in what? Communication. And you know, communication is not only talking, it's listening. We must develop listening skills. Like asking clarifying questions. If I got you right, do you mean, you understand? You go ahead to ask questions in a non-threatening manner, so that that child can do what? Open up. Communication is germane. I don't know where. Then another thing is critical thinking. And do you know today, even when our children are going to be employed, on their CV, they need to put digital soft skills that they have. So the better when we are nurturing, and that is why as a career woman, when we get home, let's create a time where we talk about technology with our children. Let them be able to know what is an advert. And that when you are online, some things will pop up. They are adverts. Just, or you put parental controls. You teach them. So that when they know, they can easily even come to you and say, Mommy, do you know what happened? And when I was online today, even as adults, don't they add us to groups? They add, and they are posting different things. Can you imagine your child that is inquisitive now being exposed to the same thing? So if we don't educate them, if we don't do digital parenting, and you cannot give what you don't have. So as parents, we must learn about it. Just as the first speaker said, there's nothing you want to know about. How can I keep my child safe online? So that you know which conversations to engage that child with. When you were browsing today, because at times their homework, we ask them to go and browse. And in the process of browsing, so many things are coming up. And before you know it, even you see a nude woman. You see, how are you? You see different things. And that child that doesn't have the maturity, when you have said, when you see things like this, do it with them. Go online with them. Do the activities with them. So that as you are working together and those things are happening, you can begin to educate. But if you just leave them to it, they will be exposed. And they are friends too. They are friends too. So what did you do today? Did you go online and so on and so forth? It's very important. I have to jump. Let me jump to, I can't talk about digital citizenship, but let's look at positive parenting tips for different scenarios. Online sharing. There are some things you tell your children, don't share photos or videos on social media sites. And you can set it to the privacy settings, because even when they're in primary 6, they are about 6, 7, they are browsing on their own. So there can be some privacy settings you can adjust. Then speak to your child about what is personal information. You don't share, addresses. You don't share location. There's a way on your phone you don't share location, and so on and so forth. There are so many technologies to even track that phone to wherever that child is. So that is why some settings, and you must let them be aware of these things. Because you can't stop them, but educate them. Talk often about, parenting, about digital technologies and the dangers there. There are social media, when you get the outline, you can read online video games. There are different things. Well, digital literacy is another thing that we must do as parents. I want to go to digital literacy for parents to assist our children. Number 1, on internet safety and online privacy, never share personal words, passwords. Keep personal details, name, address, phone number, how much money your parents make to yourself. Think before you post. Only communicate with people you know. These are things we need to teach our children. We need to teach them about digital citizenship, media literacy. They must be able to identify different types of media. And these are things we do with them. Because a child left to himself will bring his mother to shame. There are so many technical skills that we as parents must develop. Let me look at work-life balance, because you may say, I have a lot on my hands. How will I create time for this? And that is where work-life balance comes in. Work is work. Home, don't bring the work home. And if at all you must bring it home, do it at a private time. For example, I'm an early riser. So when I want to do my private work, I do it when they are asleep, early in the morning. So that the evening time, we can all be together, keep talking, keep saying, communicating, and encourage such routine. Then leverage technology for work-life balance. There are so many valuable tools for managing work-life balance. There are productivity apps. There are time management tools. project management software. I normally also do trainings, and I've done time management. As a woman, you just need to go and learn. There are so many apps. Pomodoro can help you, to plan. Because do you know at times from 4 in the evening to maybe around 10, that's 6 hours. What are you doing in those 6 hours? So we have apps that can help you organize your time. They alert you that it's time for this, and so on and so forth. Integrate time management, planning. Mommy was talking about planning. Planning is in a conference where I spoke and she was there. I told them that the tomato I used, even when tomato was so expensive, was the one I bought in April, and I preserved without refrigeration. I finished eating it October ending. The beans that I bought in April, when they were selling beans at 400 naira, I ate it until October. So I've saved a lot of time going to markets. I bought when there was subsidy, subsidy removal, and we were told, okay, I said, okay, onion, okay, I bought onion. I just finished eating the onion last month. Despite the fact that I did my son's wedding with that bag of onion, and I bought it for 35,000 naira. I still have some of it in my house. So, time management. As a woman, you are talking about you need time with your child, but you know time for shopping, time for all these things. By the time we learn how to manage our time, we will be able to create. It's not that I don't want to wash clothes, but at this level, I don't have time to wash clothes. Even with a washing machine. I have people that are doing it. Because I don't know, as a career woman, you want to do everything. Something will suffer.
Yes, ma'am.
And it may be your child. It may be your marriage. And that is why we need to keep educating ourselves. She also said something about lifelong learning. We need to keep educating ourselves on how to be successful at being a woman. I don't have house helps. I don't use them, but I have people that I engage from time to time. Wash my clothes, do this. There was a time I saw this machine you can use to wash your car. And I bought it. Because it just like that, and I move. Even though I have somebody that can help me do it. But weight of times that I travel and I don't have somebody to wash the car and it's dirty, and I can wash it. So as a career woman, you have to leverage on technology before you can find that work-life balance. Because there's so much to do with our children. And they're soon going to leave the house. My children left the house. The moment they finish secondary school, that's all. That is if they are even at home in secondary school. So primary school is all you have. But if you have taught them well, train a child in the way you should. When it's old, you will not depart from us. And it is when they are young. In today's world, they enter secondary school and enter boarding house. And they are gone. So that is why you can see that when they are in the primary school, even primary school, they go and come back 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, doing lesson. What we never did. What is a child learning to your law? From 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and there is a lot of homework to do again.
Yeah.
So as career women, one thing you need is time. Time for your child. Time to communicate. Time to teach. Teach not only morals. Teach use of digital technologies. Let me stop here. Listen to our questions and concerns, and probably I'm going to address some of it. Thank you very much. I'm a mother of 3. My last child just over 25. Wow. And my first child is 31, over 31. To the glory of God, we are all doing well. So please, these things are practicable. If you have a mindset that it can be done, it can be done. We will ever be proud of our children in the name of Jesus. And they will make us proud. Please don't allow your career to take over. Those children, work on them now. And you know this is the age of jackpot. I will stop there.
We pray that your oil will not run dry.
Amen.
Are we blessed?
Yes. We are blessed too.
She said something which I learned from. Never hand over phone to your children without guidance, without instruction, because they can do more than we can imagine. And for those of us that don't have children yet, it's a good opportunity for us. We have learned that. And even as adults, give yourself instruction, because your parents are not there to supervise you. They are not there to tell you what to do. It doesn't mean because you are adults you can't make mistakes. There are some things